Hey everybody, I did this repair job on my badly cracked cement shower stall a few years ago, and I'm finally getting around to posting it. Just before the video starts, I wanted to say that the first thing I did was not use the shower at all for a couple weeks, so any moisture in the cracks would completely dry out. And here's the video. This is my shower stall. It was done about 10 years ago, with a cement overlay over a backer board with all the waterproofing necessary, but it has developed cracks all around. We are on a stick house on there's a crawl space, so we're not on slab, so the house has moved and this is what has happened. So I've called the company to see if they could resurface it with cement, and they don't do that anymore, so I'm going to tile over it. First step is to strip the sealer off here so I can apply tile, and I am using a safer version of muriatic acid, citrus based. Applied that and waited half an hour, and I'm taking a scrubber, nylon scrubber with water, and just going to scrub the heck out of that sealer. Okay, here's the result of the scuffing. I've applied the acid to the walls. I didn't apply it all the way up because I don't want to go all the way up with tile. Only where essentially it's going to span the cracks. And that's what I'm going to take care of along the bottom here. So all that is scuffed up. I use the acid and a wire brush to take off the sealer. And now I have been cutting tile and cutting tile and cutting tile. And I cut one piece of tile. It was a 4-foot long piece of tile, and I cut it to fit that shelf there because I don't want any grout on there. I want the solid piece. The rest will be this little honeycomb tile, which is perfect because I have bees. The next step is going to be to take the fiberglass tape and span all of the cracks with fiberglass tape on the corners, walls, edge, and then squish the mortar into it. And the mortar is going to be an acrylic modified thin set. That is, it cures instead of just drying, and is less permeable to water and a stronger bond. And there are the cracks all sealed with a polymer concrete, which I think was not the right product, but it should work. Next step is cutting the tile, and I have decided to cut everything in number and then lay it out because the cutting is kind of tedious, and I'm thinking that the mortar will be setting quicker than I can specifically cut these tiles. So cutting first, numbering, and then I will lay them. Here we are after a day of working on this, and I have highly repented of having used this tile because all of the little pieces you have to cut everywhere. It is unbelievably time consuming. So now all the tiles are laid. I used every bit that I had left. This is actually what's left. So it's on very awkward design, just enough to cover the seams that were cracked. And I like it. Now all I have left, I pressed mortar into all the edges, right there, the seams. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix up some grout and press that in with a squeegee, and then sponge off the excess, and then I will seal all the grout like 10 times over, and my shower will be ready to use. So after I grouted the whole thing with the grout that I already had on hand, which was a kind of slate blue, I hated it. It just all of a sudden made the shower look smaller when it had started to look bigger. So I went and got Grout paint, and it's a sealer and paint, so I had to seal it anyway, and I'm getting the color that I actually like right there. Here's a little tip on how to paint on this tile paint. Use a stiff brush. I started out with a long tapered soft brush, and I thought that was the best way, but this actually turns out to be much better. With a stiff brush, you're using less paint. And also, this paint dries really fast, and I've discovered that unlike Grout, which you can set down and then go and wipe off, you know, after 15 minutes, this stuff sets too fast, so you should do a few strokes and then go with your damp sponge and wipe off the excess that gets on the tiles, just like that, because the stuff that's older and dried, I'm going to actually have to scrape that off. A sponge won't do it, so do it immediately after painting. Here is my finished shower stall after that repair, and here it is 3.5 years later. It's held up very well, and I'm very happy with the results. I hope this helps anybody out there who's got a cracked cement shower stall. Thank you for watching.